Fart noise. How's it going? We're here. We're live. I just realized it's hot and I didn't turn the air on. Fuck. I need a production team. Like 7 guys just gathered around just to hit an air conditioner. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. You like my internet shirt? Fuck yeah, dude. I'm in New York, Brooklyn specifically. It's nice out. Dude, September here is my favorite month. And, well, I'd say middle September to middle October. Weather's perfect. Leaves are changing. You can put on a jacket. You can walk your dog without him going after 12 fucking seconds. And also me after 12 seconds. Just been going on crazy long bike rides too. With like that humidity, it's like you can't, 20 minutes feels like 4 hours. It's like you're fucking slippery, soaked all the way through. But it's great. It's weird having like full seasons. I didn't grow up with that. As a lot of you know, I grew up on the sun. That's dumb. I grew up in LA, so it's like fucking might as well be. It's the sun with plastic surgery. Not a lot of there's like soft seasons. It's not. They're very like mild, as we're New York. And that's like 2 days. It rained Volkswagen Beetles the other day. All right, it didn't. But I'm happy to be out here. The clubs are open. Everything is like fucking getting back to normal. Couple of bullshit announcement-y things, and then we'll get moving. There's a Patreon. 3 different tiers. You get a bunch of different shit in each one. The first $5 just some access, maybe some bonus stuff, and then one of the 2 are the Discord chat rooms, which I'm beyond a lot, so we can talk about different stuff. There's different like rooms for different topics and stuff. So everything from like biking, boxing, coffee, clothing. This is going to be a thing just for love, dating, relationships. I think it'll be a good place to like have conversations that aren't in the wide open on Twitter or Instagram, so someone can drop in halfway and go, "What the fuck is that, mate?" Just with almost no fucking context. So I think that'd be fun. Anyway, Patreon /ATNY. And then September 1st, there's a article coming out that I wrote. I'm very excited about it. I'm not going to tell you what it is ahead of time. Well, if you're in the Patreon, I'll tell you if you're in the Patreon. But otherwise, you're going to have to wait September 1st, and I'll post about it. I'm super pumped about it. Put a lot of work into it. It'll be fun, exciting. And then that's it. I'm planning road stuff for later in the year, for something else that I'm not going to tell you about yet. We have a guest. It would be funny if he fell asleep, but we're going to see where he's at. Why can't I? There we go. Again, if you were here the first episode, I'm learning shit. So there's going to be stuff where I'm like, what? Let's see here. So he'll be joining in live. Okay. So yeah, I watched the fucking Jake Paul and Woodley fight last night, and fuck, man, I really wanted him to just Jake Paul, that is, just head, brain matter, skull, just not literally, but just like symbolic of the end of his fucking boxing career. I don't know if you guys watched it. Comment, let me know. We'll talk about it. But it was fucking irritating. So when Thibault gets on here, I'm gonna talk to him about it because he's a big combat sports guy, and he's got Punch Drunk and stuff, which they talk about on there. Yeah, it was very irritating. Like he said, Jake Paul, who's has a record of at the time 3-0, and versus people who like have, I think all of them, it was their first time in a professional boxing match. Which coincidence? No, not at all. He's doing a great job as like a showman, and like he's borrowing, as one of the announcers said, borrowing from the WWF professional wrestling sort of like theatrics, and he's playing the villain, and he's getting in faces and causing problems. And then, you know, by then it's like people are forking the money over for the Showtime pay-per-view, and then he's already won. So if you watched it and actually paid for it, which I didn't, because that's my way to rebel, you know, it was an annoying fight. So irritating. Undercards were pretty good. I mean, if you were on board with it, the undercards were like decent. Not the Tommy Fury one really, because that's another case of that's Tyson Fury's brother, and he was like a reality star or some shit. It was like on Love Fuck Island or whatever, where you like sit around and get tan and cum. I don't know what you do in there, but it's like one of those things. And then he's, you know, obviously related to the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. So, you know, now he's a fighter. So I think he might fight Jake next. But anyway, I want to talk to Teeb about what he thinks about what it's doing for like combat sports and boxing. I have plenty of fucking shit to say about it. Thibault might be dead. He might not join because he's not living anymore. So there's that. I broke down and did this. We can just skip ahead for a while. I have a dog, as a lot of you know. His name is Ricky. He is, some of you don't know, the best dog to ever live. So, and I know some of you right now are like, no, wait, but that's my dog is the best dog to live. And that would be where you're wrong. Your dog, she, it, they are at best second, distant second. My dog first, all other animal, Lassie included. Fuck Lassie. Ricky first, everything else second. So anyway, the best dog in the world. I feel like he has like one of those faces where you're like, yeah, but what are you? Because I know that they said the rescue places, and they all do this shit. Like you go in and you look at a dog, and some of them are smart. They go, so like, what are you looking for? And you happen to say like, oh, someone I go on like runs and hikes with and stuff. And they go, oh, okay. So now every dog we show you is an energetic running dog. So it's all just like, here's a greyhound and there's a cattle dog. That dog, did you know that dog's part motorcycle? Did you know that? Yeah, he's fast and he can go. So every dog is that. So I went in, and when I saw Ricky, and then our eyeballs did this with hearts, and it was um you couldn't tell what it was. He looks like he could be like German Shepherd or Doberman, cattle dog, Labrador, like any mix of anything. You could have like some pit bull, who knows. And that's what it's like with these, they found him on a street corner selling crack. You guys, he had it rough. So um I was probably trying to eat food around a bus bench, and they were like, come with us. So clearly they don't know what he is. They never know how old they are. I asked 3 different people, how old is this dog? With the most confidence you could ever have. Each one separately was like, definitely 4. Second person was like, he's 5. He's 5. He's 5. Trust me. Another one was like 6. Yeah, no. When you look at him, you see like the gums, and this is a 6-year-old dog. I would bet my own children's 6-year-old lives on it. It was like that. So I'm like, okay, so what? So I pick fucking 5. I'm like, I don't, but his breed mix is always like, I don't know why, because you just want to know, and you forget about it, and then you're like, is he a cattle dog? Like the way, he nips at other dogs, and he's like, has a herding tendencies. But I don't know fucking shit about, I'll read something and they go, cattle dogs, will have the little herding tendency. And then I'm like, oh, then any dog who's ever bitten an ankle, I'm going to tell people like, it's a cattle dog. So I'm like becoming them, the ones that are like, trust me, even though I know 0. So I was looking at dog DNA tests, and I was like, I can't be one of those guys. Like I'm like, I love my dog. I would do anything for that dog. And he's it for me. He's like, but it's, those people that are like, yeah, you got to get the deep cleaning, tooth thing, and then those are like 5 fucking grand. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever loved anything. But if it was like a life or death dental cleaning, which is probably the first time that's ever been said. Yeah, it's a life or death dental thing. If he doesn't get this, he'll die of not brushing his fucking teeth, which I do. It's just hard. So I was like, I can't be that guy. My dog will never wear a sweater, ever, because guess what? Dogs were fucking born with them. He has a permanent jacket. Cattle dogs, and a lot of dogs, or if he's a cattle dog, a lot of these fucking dogs have double coats. So it's like, you put a jacket on, you might be like overheating them if it's not like super, super cold. And even then, super cold, you see them running around in the fucking snow and shit, hurting animals. They didn't have jackets then. It was before Carhartt was even cool enough to make a dog jacket. The people actually wore Carhartt on the farm when they worked there. And if you probably told them, you're like, hey, put a jacket on your dog, they'd be like, get off my property. Leave now or I'll shoot you. Most farmers are probably like that. Take that, farmers. So yeah, I mean, I've never thought I'm going to put a sweater or a jacket or anything like that. But then every once in a while I'm like, yeah, but what are you? So I broke down in segments. Like the first segment was, all right, well, I'll look up DNA tests. It's free to Google. It's not, $5 to like figure it out. So I look him up, and this is a couple years ago, I think. I was like, $250? And again, there's people that probably spend that every week on like, dog food that was like made by a fucking chef at an actual restaurant, and toys and different treats and all this shit. No, fuck that. So I was like, if it ever gets under, I don't know, 100, yeah. And thinking like it never will, so I can draw that line and never think about it. Then a week and a half ago, I don't know what, it might have been an email or just one of those ads that makes you think like, is my computer listening to me? Which they aren't. There's a good documentary about why that's actually not true. Hold on, here's Teeb. Hey, you son of a bitch. Hold on. Hey. Can't hear you.
I can.
Oh, there you
Hang
go.
on, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah. It's a little echoey. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's all right. How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, dude.
Are we live on a podcast right now?
We are, yeah. Let me see.
Awesome.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you? Congrats on the new podcast
Yeah,
and on the
thanks.
awesome hair.
Oh yeah. This is it, dude. The new
I saw
dude.
you doing stand-up. I saw some of you doing stand-up somewhere with the
Uh,
hair, and I go, "Man, does Caitlyn Jenner have a beard?"
That's great.
Is that the longest your hair's ever been?
In my life,
It's as long as I've known you for probably
my whole
20
life.
years, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 22 years of your life.
um, yeah, dude. This is the longest it's been, and I'll tell you, I love it. You used to have your hair this long, so we've switched.
Yeah, mine was a little bit longer than that, but right around there about.
So
That's
are
about
you
down
trying to
your
tell me I need to
taint,
go
right?
longer?
You could go a little longer.
I could, I guess. So yeah, it's like touching
It's
my shoulder. It's weird, dude.
it's weird because it's just like when you constantly are cutting your hair, you're not
Yeah.
letting your hair just do you have no idea what your hair would do if you grew it out.
I had no idea it would be like. I thought it would be like just really curly and like, because the little I've let it, I was like, oh, I would look bad with long hair, and then I'm glad I did it.
I thought I was gonna have like a real beautiful like African woman's afro, and it turns out it
Yeah,
just kind of looked like yours.
weird. I thought the same thing when I first met you. I was like, it's weird that his hair is straight. Strange.
Dude, about like maybe right before the pandemic, I was hanging out with this girl,
Wait, what
and I was
pandemic?
like, the one that's just not the 2 pandemics ago.
Oh, right. Early 2020, 19, 20.
No, I'm talking bird flu. I'm talking about like
Oh, 2008. Right. Okay, yeah. All right.
right
So you
around
met this
there.
girl a while back.
Yeah, she can drive now, but so dumb,
Classic
so
team
stupid.
joke.
Right, okay. And all right, well, congrats on the
Yeah.
podcast. Good
See
seeing
you
you.
later.
So, and I was like looking at myself in the mirror, and I go, "Fuck, man, I'm starting to get these gray hairs." And she goes, "Starting to get gray hairs?" She's like, "The entire time I've known you, you've had gray hair all over your head, but you're just in denial about like how you look." Or there's sort of like, I think everybody has a form of body dysmorphia in one way or another,
Sure, I believe that.
you know. And I'm just like, in my head, I still had pun intended, I guess. In my head, I thought I still had the same hair
That's
that I
funny.
did when I was like 22. And
Wow.
then when I started to grow it out, I was like, geez, man, I'm starting to looking like if Steve Martin was like a drug dealer or something. That's what I look like.
So when did you decide to go short like this?
Dude, my hair was like yours during the pandemic because you couldn't get a haircut. You couldn't do anything. And I already kind of had long hair, so my shit went like real crazy.
Yeah.
And I just got so sick of like having it's a lot to do. Having long
Yeah.
hair is a lot to do. And I had long hair for like 2, 3 years, maybe more, maybe 4 or 5. I had long hair, and I was like golfing out here a lot, and because it's the only thing I could do during the pandemic. And I was
Right.
so goddamn hot, and I had to take like 2 showers a day. When your hair's so long, you can't get
Yeah.
away with being a scumbag.
Right.
So I the first time they were like, "Hey, people can get haircuts now," or whatever. I go, you know what? I'm gonna cut all my shit off. I can always grow it back.
Yeah.
But I hadn't had short hair in so long, so I kind of did it for like the spring and the summer, and it's just easier
Yeah.
to just maintain. But I do want to grow it back out again. And I saw you with your long ass hair. I go, God damn it! I miss my long hair. That shit looks cool.
Yeah, it's so much easier in a lot of ways, but you're right, it's like kind of harder to manage. Um, but like waking up and you're just like whatever, and it's like you just go about your day and just put your hand through it or whatever, and not wash it for like 4 days. It doesn't matter. Um, or wash it for like, for example, 4.5 months. Not that I have, but like if one were to do that for 4.5 months, it wouldn't matter.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think I want to. I think I want to grow it back out. But then when you go from like where I am to where you are,
Yeah.
you got like 6 months, what I call hat months,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. They're
where
like,
you shit
why
is
is
just
Tebow wearing
fucked
a
up looking.
beanie in July?
I know.
Golfing,
I
just
know.
sweats coming out of your face.
I know.
You're
I
like
know. I'm
wringing
wearing a
it out.
fireman's hat. I got a fireman's helmet.
Tebow's an astronaut. This is
I know.
weird. Full spacesuit.
Tebow got into beekeeping during the pandemic. Are you at your apartment?
I am, yeah,
Yeah, very colorful walls. I was gonna say, how people get those like backgrounds they can always do on like all
yeah.
these
Right.
Zooms and whatever the hell,
Yeah.
eCams and whatever. I'm like, wow, you're in a lovely gay woman's apartment.
I am, yeah. What's funny is that was already here, the wall color, and the landlord was like, "Yeah, you want me to paint that?" Like, not all four, but three of them were blue, and I was like, "Actually, no, I can leave it. Who cares?"
It looks badass.
Yeah, and then I put like the art up. It actually made it look better than like a white wall. Um, but yeah, so I figured, I mean, I could just like put a couple things up and then face the camera, and it's.
Looks great. I'm in a jail.
You're like, I'm in prison now. This is your one phone call.
I know, I know. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
They're like, is he calling his lawyer? No, he's a guest on a podcast. It's weird. A weird
I know.
choice.
Some hand reaches in and just yanks me out.
Yeah, yeah. So how
Is
you
this the
been, dude?
second
Are you gonna
episode?
stay in the
I've been
same
good,
way
buddy.
as us? What's that?
What's that?
I was saying, how have you been, and are you gonna stay in the Midwest for a little longer?
Yeah, man, I really was hoping to get out and just kind of go to a bunch of places. I'm going to Austin,
Okay.
see Adam and Red Band and all those guys and do a bunch of shows. I'm going there in a few weeks.
Okay.
And then, so if anybody's in the Austin area, probably early October, I'll be out there for about 4 or 5 days.
Nice.
And then I'm going to go back to LA in October for a little bit for Jeff Scott's thing. I think he's having a
Oh yeah.
memorial on Halloween night, I think.
That's like the
And
perfect time. Like that day is that's like Jeff Scott day.
I mean, Halloween night, main room,
Yeah.
it couldn't be any more perfect for that. So I'm going to go to that. So I'm kind of just going to bounce around for a while, but everything just keeps getting, right when you start to think things are going good, it's like you get grounded when you're a little kid and you've been
Yeah.
grounded all summer and your parents are like, this is your last fucking strike, kid. Don't fuck this up again or you're going to be really, really super grounded.
Yeah.
And the minute they go, okay, everyone, we can take our masks off, and then everyone's like, super orgy, you know what I
Right.
mean? And then you see like people on houseboats, and everyone's just, and you go, God, you're gonna ruin it for everybody.
I know.
So, I mean, it's definitely gone on longer than, I mean, of course, nobody wanted this to even happen, but it's gone on a lot longer than I remember when it first started. I was in LA, and I remember talking to the bartender, Carrie Mitchell, who I love.
Uh huh.
And they just started putting hand sanitizer all over the Comedy Store, like little
Yeah.
like, not to anybody that doesn't know the Comedy Store. That place is the fact that they would even have hand soap in the men's room would be an improvement.
Yeah.
Let alone remember when they got like they started doing grading letters of like restaurants that any place that sold food to anybody that doesn't if your town doesn't have this, they would put
Yeah.
like report card letters right on the front door. A,
Yeah.
B, C. Anything lower than a C, they would close you down.
The store got a
And
Z
because of
minus.
Z minus. I was just gonna go the other way. I walked in and I didn't even know they were gonna get raided because they have
Yeah.
French fries and chicken fingers, and they had to get a
Right.
And you walk by and they had an A, and I go, oh, all this tells me is that the health
Weird.
department doesn't use black lights. Because that place would glow in the dark.
Yeah.
The whole building is just blood and cum. It's just blood and cum everywhere.
Just imagine like the actual UV outline of a whole body. Like with
just
a gun.
just spraying cum everywhere though.
Yeah.
Outline of a
That'd be
it's
great.
just an outline of a human being in semen.
Yeah, yeah.
So so uh I can't remember what I was, oh, so they were putting hand sanitizer all along, and I go, oh man, this COVID thing. This is probably like in January or February. I go, whoa, this COVID thing is way bigger than bird flu or any of the other ones that we kind
Yeah.
of missed the boat on. I go, oh, they're really taking this. This is really probably more serious than I thought. And I
Right.
remember being in the back bar talking to Carrie, and she goes, they're going to close this fucking place down in the next few days. You just watch. And I go, no, fuck.
Shit.
There is absolutely no way the Comedy
Right.
Store is going to close down just because of this thing, because this is going to pass like that.
Yeah. The good old
And
days.
3 days later, it fucking closed down. And like, we're just going to be closed for a little bit. And, 14 months later, 15 months later, they opened back. I mean, I was in disbelief at how serious this was. And as I sit in my mother's basement right outside of Chicago, I was proven wrong. Science, you did it to me, science. You really got me.
That's funny.
How's New York? How's New York been, buddy?
Pretty great, dude. I mean, things have opened back up slowly and safely and like efficiently. It hasn't been like there haven't been too many like hiccups or like going way back on stuff. It's better than everyone is making it out to be. Where they're like it's a ghost town and the everything is closed and falling apart and crime and this and it's like it feels pretty fucking normal, dude. It's
Does it?
yeah, the clubs are back open, not to like full 100% like operation, not in terms of audience, like there's full capacity shows, but there's like hiring shortages all over the city. So a lot of clubs can't do like too many shows a night because they literally don't have employees. So that's sort of like preventing spots to be like kind of where they were. So, but it's like getting there.
I think that whole element of because every restaurant you go to, anywhere you go, everyone's just so short staffed. I try to always be nice to everybody that actually is working somewhere because I
Yeah.
know one, they're 9 out of 10 times it's a shitty job they don't want to do anyway.
Oh yeah.
So God bless them for that. The people that work
Yeah.
in the movie theaters and people that work at restaurants and bars and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
and on top of it, they're already fucked because nobody else. Once this whole country realized, hey, you mean I could get paid the exact same amount I get at my shitty job to not go to my shitty job?
Yeah.
Let me think about it here. Let me crunch the numbers.
Right. Yeah. Or even not
so
close to your shitty job. As long as you can like get by, you're like, well, I'll just ride this shit out until I absolutely have to go to work. But
right.
I mean, I read a thing the other day at the end of like September, October, 800,000 New Yorkers will be off unemployment. And that day is where the hiring problem ends. It's just like everyone's going to be like, I need a job.
That's a staggering number.
It is a huge number. It answers it's like, that's why fucking no one's working. 800, that's almost 1 million people just fucking sitting at home, reading, just jerking off.
Same thing in LA.
Yeah.
Same thing in LA.
It's going to be weird to go back there, huh? Like everyone's gone. Like fucking most of the comedy world is like, not really, but like our friends and shit.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. It might have been Ari or somebody, and I go, and he's like, "Hey, when was the last time you were at the store?" I go, "I haven't been to the comedy store in like 16, 15 months or 15 months."
Yeah.
And you see all the new people, and hey, congrats to our new door guy, and all this kind of shit. And I go, I'm gonna fucking get carded walking in there,
Me
and
too.
it's gonna fucking really insult me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I spent half my life here. I gotta see me chastising some 20-year-old door guy.
Right, yeah.
I've been here since before you were born, fuckface.
Right. I pissed in
You
that
know,
corner. I got a blowjob in
I
that
know,
corner.
I know. Hey,
Yeah.
don't ever piss in your blowjob corner, and don't ever get a blowjob in the
The
piss
piss.
corner.
Yeah.
Rule,
That should
rule
be
number
written on the
one.
wall. That's funny. But yeah, everyone's
Should be written
gone,
on.
dude. It's weird.
I know so many people went to Austin, so many people went to New York.
Nashville too.
Theo went to Nashville. A lot of people went to Florida.
Florida.
I think
Jeez.
Simone's in Florida. I mean, people just went everywhere. So many people went back to be with their families or close to their families.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think so many people have realized, and not just comedy. I mean, we're talking about comedy because we're comics, but,
Right.
you know, oh, like my sister who's worked in, staffing industry and, she's done well for herself, but, she just put a bid on a house right outside
Wow.
Chicago.
Oh,
Because
really?
she's like, yeah, she goes, I've worked from home for the last 17 months. And I mean, going to put some money down, a decent amount of money, like I think $3 billion, but down on a
That's not
house.
bad. You could probably get a good piece of property for that. Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's, yeah, let me think about square. I don't know how many square feet it is, but I think it's 780 square miles is the
Okay,
living
that's
room.
pretty good. Yeah. You could get a dog even for the backyard with a place that big. Yeah.
It's a bitch to vacuum.
Right.
But,
I'm sure. You get one of those robot ones that just never comes
she's
back.
got a, she's got a John Deere Roomba.
Like you have a gas powered Zumba that just killed your dog. Your dog's dead.
I know, I know. But, and I think everybody's seeing that where they're like, hey, man, I don't have to live in these super expensive cities
Yeah.
to do what I want to do. I mean, a lot of people are like, man, I want to be close to my family. I want to, have a house. I want to have property or have a yard to have a dog and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't even realize how expensive it is to live in New York or Los Angeles. It's ridiculous how much you pay for how little you get.
Yeah. I mean, in the Midwest and wherever else, like the price of rent is more than like your house mortgage in a lot of places. And like your sister's doing the right thing. I mean, it's the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's like she's been renting the same apartment for 15 years.
Wow. Oh, that probably helped her save even more money. Her rent stayed so low.
Yeah, but it still was
Wow.
expensive. I mean,
Right.
I mean, I think her house payment is going to be like, after she puts $4.5 billion down, I think her house
Right.
payment's like $8 a year or something. No, I think it's like I think it's $800 a month or something.
Wow. That's great.
And I think her rent was right around $1,600 a month for a
Damn.
1 bedroom shoebox. Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
crazy, man. And I
That's
think LA
wild.
is feeling that. I think so many people are leaving there, and the homeless problem is so bad there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
How's
weird.
your family doing out there?
They're good. I mean, they're like in the suburbs, and it's like they're just staying at home. I had to
They're
like
in the
drill
valley.
that.
They're in like valley-ish, right? Valley area
Yeah, but not like
up
what's
north.
known as the Valley. It's like more towards like Glendale, Pasadena, around there. So not like San
What's that
Fernando Valley.
address?
Here's an aerial photo I'll send you of there.
Just post it after the show.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I just told him I'm like, fucking don't leave the house unless you have to, and even then, probably still don't. But they're good. When parents get older, it's like, oh no, we'll do what we want, or it's fine. They just get stubborn and shit. But it's just been like, don't move unless necessary. So it's weird though,
Right.
like going like a year plus without even like seeing them, and then like
You're so lucky.
Right. Yeah. Like the one time I saw them in 2020, I had to go back to LA for a minute, and I couldn't even get near them. You're just like, I'm at the end of the driveway, and I'm just like, hey, and it was like we could have done this shit over FaceTime. It was strange, but now they're like vaxxed and fine, and so we'll see.
Did you ever get COVID?
No, I like everybody. I thought I had it two different times. I was like, no, this has got to be like and then what's funny is like I got tested in May, April, whatever of 2020, like before we knew much about it, and there weren't a lot of tests, and I finally could get an antibody test. I'm like, dude, now I'm gonna prove that I had that shit in March. I get it, negative. I'm like, it's got to be a bad test, or because there's a lot of different kinds of tests and no one knew the efficacy. So I'm like, I'm gonna get a different test. So I go to a second place, and they did their test in a different way. One was like blood, one was nasal. So he does the test. So like, yeah, you get your results in 20. I'm like, oh sweet. I'm sitting around waiting, and he comes up with like a smile, and he was like, good news, negative. You never had it. And I was like, fuck. And he's like, what? I'm like, damn. He's like, I've never seen someone happy about not having COVID. I'm like, could have sworn, and this is my second test. I wanted to travel and be invincible, and fucking,
No, I
I
lost a
still
bet.
thought after that I had it, but I guess I didn't. I've been tested a million times, never had it.
I took the same test, and it turns out I was negative for it as well. And then come to find out, it was a pregnancy test that I took,
Oh, no wonder. Okay.
and
See,
I
that's weird
was
because I took
not
a
pregnant.
pregnancy test after that too, and I'm actually now expecting any month now. Yeah.
Guys, big news on Nick Youssef's new
Yeah,
podcast.
man. Yeah.
Someone's been getting cummed in.
That's what I'm changing the name of it to. Someone
That's a
got
good name
cummed
for
in.
that's a good name for a podcast right there.
That's
Someone
funny. But
got
yeah, that
cummed in.
nurse was looking at me like, so you want it? I'm like, no, but I wish I fucking got it.
Well, that would have made sense that sometimes people would. Everybody I know either got it or thought that they did have it and they think that they're fine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had it like 2 years ago, right when it started. That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
Right when it started, I'm pretty sure I had it.
Yeah. But meanwhile, there was like
Um,
cold and flu going around during that time anyway. So it's like
could have been
everyone,
anything.
it would have shown up in the antibody test. It's like we all thought we fucking had it, and we're all wrong.
Could have been a nasty hangover. Now, if I know you, that's black coffee.
Fuck yeah, it is. It even says it on the cup.
Oh, it really does say it. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. This
Nick
is a
always yells at me.
place. Hold on. It's too
Uh-huh.
bright. It's Black Coffee Roasting Company. It's in, I think, Missoula, Montana. It's this cool spot. When I was driving across the country last year, after that same trip to LA, I stopped at that place in the morning on the drive out of town, and got one. I saw that mug and it just said black coffee. I'm like, hand one over. It's a cool spot though. Too. Missoula is also a cool town. You ever been there?
No, I've never even been to Montana.
Montana's
It's one of
fucking rad.
it's one of the 48 states I've never been to.
Man, that sounds like a long list. You should get cracking on.
The other day I was playing golf with I play golf by myself a lot. So I get paired with
Mm,
a lot of random people, which I rather enjoy because I like meeting people and talking to people and you don't really get to do that a lot, turns out in a
yeah.
global pandemic.
Right.
But
Right.
these two, they were probably, I would say 70,
Uh.
late 60s, 70s. They kept mentioning being retired lesbians. And as we get to playing and, they kind of shooting the shit and they go, oh, what do you do? And, oh, that's fascinating. I've never met a surgeon before. I don't know why I said surgeon.
Yeah.
But they, uh, uh, they were going to every single state and golfing in every single state
That's
together.
cool.
And they had like Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and then they had everything but Alaska done.
Wow.
And I go, that's
Damn.
fucking badass. That's cool.
That's cool,
Just go
yeah.
to every state with the person you're eating out and just golf.
Yeah. Just fucking chow box through America.
Now that's my podcast name.
Chow and box through America.
It's a bitch to get sponsors, I tell
I
you, but it's
know. They're like, us here at the Church of Latter-day Saints are not going to sponsor your podcast.
I know.
Like, come
It's
on, we
just
love God on this show.
yeah, it's just box lunches, it's Lunchables, it's
Yeah. Yeah, Box Brothers.
yep, juice boxes.
Yeah, yeah. So did you watch the Jake Paul fight?
Yeah, we were texting about that last night. Yeah, I watched. Did you watch it?
I did.
Did you watch it legally?
Fuck no.
Well, guess what? Because I got a new job and I'm the internet sheriff. We got another one, guys. Get him! All of a sudden, two guys grab you from behind that blue
Just
wall.
burst in, yeah. That same guy that grabbed you earlier from the jail.
Yeah. Just another super long arm grabs you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I also illegally watched it, and
It's the way to go.
well, it is the way to go, and especially with something like that. There are
Yes.
things that I will pay for,
Yeah, yeah.
mostly German porn, but
Right.
the with ones like that, I go, this is like sucker's money. You know what I mean? Like a really good boxing match, really good pay-per-view UFC or something. Especially if I
Yeah.
don't want it to freeze or I have people over or something like that. Sure, I'll drop to $70.
Right.
But for something like this, I'm just, I'm sitting in bed. I go, I want to see what happened. I don't want to read about it the next day. I don't care about that one fight.
Right.
So I watched it, and well, let me hear your thoughts. You started boxing. I know you were boxing for a while, and I know you really kind of got into boxing, at least as a workout or fitness kind of thing, which led you into kind of being a fan of the sport. Am I right in that
No,
timeline?
opposite. I was a fan of it first and had
Okay.
always wanted to do it. And then just, money, time, that kind of thing. And then eventually, like a number of years ago, I just finally started. I just found like a cheap, shitty boxing gym. And I was like, I just want to go learn fundamentals and do whatever. And then it was a similar feeling to when I started stand up. I was like, this is like, it feels so right, you know? It just was like, this has to be a part of my life now. It was like that kind of thing. Not in similar to stand up, and I want to do it professionally, but it just was like, I I have to have this. I should have been here the whole time, you know. Um,
Now, what did you get out of? I want to hear some of the things that you think that you got out of it, or that you personally not think that you personally feel. Hey, wow! From doing that and having that experience, I really was able to, gain X, Y, and Z. What are other than like your physical well-being,
yeah.
working out? Like, what did you get out of it that you didn't anticipate, or you were surprised that you benefited from it?
Um, One of the big surprises is my dick's like 9 inches longer, which is like a
Dude,
weird side effect. Yeah,
9 inches longer or 9 inches long?
9 inches longer.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't
which now
box.
makes it.
I thought you were gonna say I could get my dick cut in half, but yeah.
Yeah, which brings mine up now to like 23 feet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. I
I
didn't
don't
need the
need.
extra, but
If I get another 9 inches on this thing, I'm gonna have to put a light at the top so planes don't hit it.
we could go roofing on it.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. So, okay. Other than a sleeping anaconda draped down your leg, what else did you get?
It's great for obviously like stress relief.
Yeah.
It's good for kind of like working stuff out in your head in a way. It's similar to what I get out of like long distance bike rides. You could sort of like, while concentrating on what you're doing, you sort of can work out ideas in your head, or like something. If there's a problem in your life, you sort of like go in there, and that's in the back of your mind, and you're so focused on the one thing, and you're like breaking through these little barriers, learning like throwing a proper like hook and landing like combination stuff, that it sort of like helps you unlock other stuff that's going on in your mind, if that makes sense. So it's good for
Yeah, it's
that.
meditative. It's meditative in that sense, you mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you're really, really present, and in being really present, you can kind of tap into the things that when your mind or your head is all over the place, you can't really focus on one sort of thing. Is that,
yeah.
if that's what I'm hearing? Yeah.
Yeah, you strip away, like in meditation, you'd strip away everything but the breath. You're like focused on that. But in this, you're just focused on like the activity of like boxing or biking or whatever. So it does have like a meditative, thing to it. Um, the other thing is I'm more like even bodied now because I'm very much like left handed, left footed, all of it in life. And from having to use, both sides of my body evenly and rely on them in the same way, it made me just like I felt myself like walking differently and just sort of like more I felt like closer to the ground, if that makes sense. It's just like you
Yeah.
just move differently,
Sure.
it's hard to like really put into words, but I just felt like if something were to fall, let's say off, I would normally go with my left hand or lean left, but now I would do it with my right because I've never used my right hand more in my life. In the first 6 months of boxing, I mean,
Wow.
it was insane, and it's my jabbing arm, so
Same.
I would fucking go until I was dead. And you're using both sides of your body the same. And it just like gave me more physical confidence just in my like posture and like strength in a way. Even though I had strength trying to work out, it's not the same because you're like weightlifting is very static. You're just like lifting the shit. But with boxing, it's a lot of it's like head movement, footwork, and like obviously the strength. But that was one of the bigger things I got. And what was the other? I guess this. I guess maybe it's related to stress, but like there's like a calm that you have that just takes you through the rest of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing can get to you, and you just feel more at peace, which every person that gets into like a combat sport says. They're just like never get angry anymore. If someone wants to start shit, you're just like you can't even, it doesn't even make sense, getting mad at anything. Someone like didn't hold the door open or cut in line or it just doesn't make sense anymore, which is
Huh.
great. It's for anyone's mental health.
Because you had an outlet for all of that pent up
Yeah,
anger
and
or
you're
anything.
learning how to fight properly. So you there's a sense of like if someone gets in your face, right? There's that part of you that goes, "Oh, I don't want to get into a dangerous situation." And then the smart part of you, but then when you walk away, you're like you feel a little emasculated or something. But if you are learning how to fight properly and you can execute all these moves and if you're sparring and doing all that stuff, that
Yeah.
insecurity, the emasculation, it doesn't register. It's just not there.
Right. Because you also don't have that question in your head of like, wait, well, what would have happened if we would have gotten into it?
Yeah.
Well,
Or
now you
it's
kind of at least have an idea.
yeah, it's a smaller question because you're like, anything could happen. Who knows what that guy knows? It could be, way more than I do, and but it just doesn't fucking matter. You just sort of
Right.
are like,
Right.
anyway, those people almost look more dumb now because you're like, why are you acting that way? Like, what is it going to prove? You
Booze.
almost want to tell them like, go tape your hands up and take it out on a fucking bag. Like, what is wrong with you? But
Right.
but yeah, that was like a major thing. It's good for like general confidence, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and it's great fucking workout. Um, and it
Do you
just
still
like,
go?
well, I couldn't during all of COVID, but now I'm restarting. I fucked my shoulder up right before COVID, just from like overtraining. And it really, I mean, like holding my arm
Rotator
up.
cuff.
Yeah. Like
Hmm.
in the motion of a hook, you could feel. So I was like, if I go back further than my back, pain. If I go further than that, pain. And I was like,
Do
but if I
both.
went up and down, fine.
Do
So
both till you're in extreme pain right now, so that our audience can see.
yeah. But I mean, and that was like, in 2019. So that's, been fine. But, and the pandemic was obviously like even more rest for your body. But now I got to find a new gym that like I can work out, like train out during the day and shit. But, but I fucking love it. It's the best. But
Now that being said, you got to be kind of impressed. Whether you hate him, love him, whatever he is. I know he's playing this villain guy,
yeah,
Jake Paul. For a guy in his 20s that's only really been boxing for like 3.5 to 4 years,
yeah,
he's kind of, I mean, he's without even discussing how well he's monetized it
yeah,
and what a good promoter he is and all that sort of stuff. I mean, he's got a, he's okay for a boxer. I mean, granted, he fought a retired midget from the
right,
NBA.
yeah.
I don't know how that legally happened. That first fight with
Nate
Nate
Robinson,
Robinson,
yeah,
who's five. I think he's 5'5".
yeah, yeah. He
I'm
was
not
way
even
smaller.
joking.
Yeah.
He's like one of the smallest people, other than Spud Webb, to ever win a dunk contest. I think
Wow.
he's 5'6", 5'7". I'm not joking.
Damn,
I
Jake Paul's
think
6 foot.
he's like 6'1",
Yeah.
and he probably outweighed the guy by about 100 pounds. I mean, no wonder he just went bonk and knocked him
Yeah.
out once. But he's slowly kind of increasing his level of competition. He got touched. His chin got touched last night.
It did. Yeah. Yeah. A couple of
If
times.
he, if Johnny and I were saying, Johnny Woodard, shout out to Johnny Woodard, producer of my podcast, Punch Drunk Sports.
Yeah.
It's a sinking ship. Listen soon. It's really about to hit the bottom of the ocean. Um, Remember when the Titanic was pointing straight up and then the hull broke in half and then it kind of was slowly sinking into two
Yeah. And it
different
went like,
places?
yeah.
That's about where my
So
podcast
like
is. So jump on
everyone's like
board and
running up to the
right.
back, and then it like,
Yeah.
and then you guys are just like, before it sinks.
Yep. No, there's no you guys. It's just me. I always joke because Ari is barely on the show and he's making $1 bazillion now. Tripoli's lost his mind and he's barely on the show. I go, I feel like the piano player on the Titanic,
That's so funny.
just playing it right on down to the bottom of the ocean. But I was talking to Johnny, who's a big boxing fan, and we were like, that one overhand right that Woodley caught him with, right
Yeah. Yeah.
by the ear.
Yeah.
And it knocked him through the ropes. If that happened in the middle of the ring, that's a 10-8 round with a knockdown.
Yeah. And I'm surprised they didn't call a knockdown on that.
So that's exactly what we were saying. But I mean, this is such a, monkey circus, rinky-dink kind of operation. I don't trust any of this. This is,
Yeah.
to me, even though Showtime's picked it up, even though they got, reputable refs and announcers and all this, there's still something about it that I would never bet on. I would never bet on these. Like Jake
Yeah.
Paul, those brothers are just, they already made their money in the kind of like internet crazy ways that I could easily see them talking to all these retired fighters and go, look, man, we're going to do these couple of stunts, publicity stunts.
Yeah.
But listen to me, brother. I'm going to get you $2 million to just take a dive. You're not even a boxer. You're already retired.
Yeah.
Just $2 million. I'll be the Roddy Piper. You be the, whatever. I'm going to be the bad guy. I'll say some shit about your mom. Tell your mom I love her. She's a wonderful woman. I could easily see this being, I don't want to say staged, but
as close to it without being staged. Like it's very overly planned. It's like it's a media circus,
that, yeah.
and it's like the one announcer was saying, like he took the best from like pro wrestling and applied it to boxing. Where there's characters, there's drama behind the scenes, and my big thing is like you see all these like major announcers that work for all the different like networks and stuff talking about how like it's good for boxing because it's getting all these eyes on it. And I'm like, I don't subscribe to that. I think it's people will tune in to watch the one fight and maybe watch the undercards. If they do, they're not paying attention. They're having a fucking thing with their friends and they're joking around, probably watching old Jake Paul videos until Jake Paul comes on screen, you know. And they'll watch the fight. They will leave this situation going, that was fun, not fun, pretty cool, and probably never watch boxing again. Like, because they're not in there for the sport. They're in there for that specific media circus and that specific guy.
They're in there for the spectacle. They're in there for the spectacle and not the sport.
Yeah. So to the
so
boxing
many people
announcers,
are paying money because they want to see this guy get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I'm also one of those because I'm a pretty big boxing fan, and I want to see this guy fight somebody that's gonna tune him up.
Yeah, and that's why I tuned in. I was like, let Woodley just fucking obliterate him. Just fucking one clean fucking shot that they can close in on and freeze frame for 50 years, you know, and then just him, you know, dissolving into the ground. That's what we all wanted. And he knows that, and he's fine with that, which is great. But it didn't happen. And aside from the thing where I don't think it's good for boxing in terms of the eyeballs, you know what I liken it to? Like a bringer show. There is no sustainable model for a bringer show, which for those who don't know the comedy world, you get booked on a show based on how many friends you can bring. Right. Yeah. So you'll get booked on a show if you can bring like 3 to 5 friends. And then if you book enough comics, they bring enough friends, boom, you have a full house. Those shows, though, never build a following. If that next week didn't have any bringers booked, no one's coming. Because the people who came the week before and before and before came to see their friend and then sat through one of the worst experiences of their life. They got there and they were just like, this is a fucking comedy show? Then their friend went on and they were like, he's not that good. Do we tell him? You know? And then after he gets off, they're like, we're out. You think they're going to come back? Same thing with this Jake Paul shit. It may be entertaining.
Yeah, I always say that about bringer shows, which is you can always tell who came to see who because after each comic, 6 people leave.
Yeah.
Every single time. 6.
Yeah.
So if you're on last, like at the comedy store, they'd always put like us, like comics from the club, you know, that'd be a good way to get stage time because hey man, I'm going on last on a bringer show, but who gives a shit? You know, we're not bringing anybody, but you know, at least we get to, you know, work out a little bit. And you would go down to the bar, have a drink, go outside, smoke pot, and you would just constantly keep coming up and check the room.
Right.
And each time you come up, the room is cut in half. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it's either the people that leave when the comic's done or when the comic's being introduced, like one section cheers extra loud. You're like, well, there's friends, you know? But same idea in that it's only sustainable for that night. And the percentage of returns are probably so fucking low. People that are like, you know what? I'm into boxing now. It's like, no.
Yeah.
The undercards would have to be spectacular for that. And for you to go like, man, boxing is way more entertaining than I thought. That shit didn't happen last night. It did not.
Yeah.
And my view on the whole Jake thing personally is those first few fights, it was like, you know, it's hard to tell what his skill set is because he's got that overhand right and he can throw a 1-2, you know, but you can't ever assess how good a guy is unless he goes up against a real boxer because it's like 2 steps up from hitting a heavy bag. You can land anything you want with someone who doesn't know how to fucking slip and move. So Nate Robinson was literally diving towards him with his hands down a few times. You're like, it's over. He stands no chance.
Yeah.
So for Jake, those first 3 fights were like, you know he's going to win. And this one, I was like, he has been training, you know, through each fight, which you give him that. And you see footage of him in the gym, you're like, he's learning. He's getting better. You can't take that away.
Right.
As much as you want to hate him. We still don't know how he's going to fare against any professional boxer. who's even 2
Which is
3 and
why he
0.
hasn't fought one yet.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and last night, same thing. We still don't know. But
Right.
we know a little bit more in that he fought someone who has been in combat sports for 20 years and can throw a punch. So you're like, okay, he was able to get through the whole fight. So now in rounds 6, 7, 8, if that were a seasoned professional fighter, he would have taken Jake out. He was tired. He was so gassed. He was breathing heavy. His hands were down. He was so slow. Anybody else, because Woodley would take one shot, back up. He wasn't going in there. And his coaches in the corner were like, you got to let your hands go. He's getting tired. Anyone else would have smelled blood and gone in. Woodley didn't do that because he's not a real boxer. And
I believe that's
Jake,
the first time he ever boxed. I mean, all
yeah,
MMA fighters train boxing,
right.
but it's it's a different round length, it's a different
Yes.
pacing, it's a different everything. I was thinking in my head, I go, if I was interviewing Tyron Woodley, I would ask him, how many times did you almost kick or did you want to kick? Or
Right,
when
right,
you're
right.
standing there, because I'm also left-handed, but when you're standing there like that, how many times in his head did he go, that body kick's wide open, that leg kick's wide open,
Yeah.
and go, oh
Yeah.
shit, I can't kick, I can't kick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or want to shoot at him like a wrestler and take him down. He
Yeah.
must have felt handcuffed because his entire combat sports career, he's had you can wrestle, you can shoot, you can tackle, you can kick, you can
Yes.
body kick, and he must have felt so
Your
restrained in options.
your wiring is different because like it becomes so second nature to do that, to kick, to want to go for a takedown. But as a boxer, it's like your instincts are like there's an opening here, there, and it's all with your hands. Woodley didn't see a lot of that. And Jake, to his credit, saw some of that. There were opportunities where he
Mm-hmm.
was like, Woodley's guard is down, and even that he could have been inviting him in for like a counter, but he still got the best of him a few times. And my overall take on it was, especially as the rounds were going, deeper and deeper, I was like, if he gets past round 3, Jake, no matter what happens, he wins. So he could get knocked out in round 4. He could go the distance. He could go the distance and lose. He could win by any number of factors, which he did, or anything else, and he's actually still won. Because you get knocked out, people are like, well, he made it to round 4 and he didn't back down. He fought a good fight and he's gotten better. So he's getting points. You go to round 6, 7, 8, it's, he was able to get that far. No one thought he would have, the stamina or the endurance or the ability to survive a trained
Right,
fighter.
right.
Anything you say, people are going to go, well, we're surprised he was able to do it. And he walks away like better than he walked in. And that's how people are looking at it now. It's like, well, he worked hard. He got the win. He at least fought a guy with like a pretty decorated, career. So like, as much as I want to hate it, he's in the sport of boxing, but it's almost like a
He's in the
separate.
entertainment of boxing. He's in the entertainment of
Yes.
boxing. He's
Yes.
definitely in the promotion of boxing.
Yes.
Dana White hates him for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And Dana White said he said something about it, and then Jake Paul said, I'd fight Dana White anytime. I would knock Dana White out.
Right.
And Dana White's response was hilarious. He goes, well, it makes sense. I am in the age demographic of people he keeps fighting.
That's funny. Yeah.
I'd like to see him fight, I mean, up and coming boxer
Yeah.
or a newly retired boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury's brother, I believe, was on the undercard,
Yeah.
and he's rumored to be one of the next people he may want to fight. I'd like to see that. I'd
Yeah,
like to
that'd
see him
be.
fight somebody from the sport of boxing.
Yeah. And Tommy Fury would be like lowest end of that, because he's a similar case where it's like he's from a boxing family, doesn't really have much of a background. He was on like a reality
I think he
show.
said five. He was on a reality show in
Yeah,
England,
and he's like
yeah.
4-0.
And I think, yep, exactly right. Yeah,
But I
I was
mean,
going to say four.
if you put him up against anyone with like a solid amateur background who has like a professional record of even 2-0, he's gonna lose because that
What about
amateur
an Olympic
background.
boxer? What about they just
Yeah,
added the boxing in the Olympics? That'd be great. What about the silver medalist from the
right.
Olympics or something?
Yeah,
Then we'll see. Then we'll see where you're at.
that's the next hurdle if he wants to be taken seriously. Each one, he's getting taken a little more seriously, but it's almost like the criticisms towards him are separate from actual boxing. They're like,
If you could see him fight anybody up in next for his next fight, if you got to be the matchmaker, who would you have him fight?
there's this kid named Edgar Berlanga. You know who that is? He's like 16, 17-0, and I think 16 knockouts in the first round. And he's a super middleweight, I think, with room to grow. I
Okay,
think he's up and coming. He's gonna be a star, dude. The guy is real good and real fun to
okay,
watch. He's a knockout artist, and he's got skills.
okay.
I would love to see that.
I want him to fight you.
I'll tell you what, he'd
No, I
win.
want. He probably would. I
He
want him
would.
to fight. I want Nate Diaz.
Oh, that would
Nate.
be great.
That's who he says he wants. Nate Diaz next.
Oh my god,
And
that
Nate
would
Nate
be.
Diaz was live. Go to Nate Diaz's tweets whenever you get a chance. He was live tweeting, and his final tweet was right after the fight. Both these guys suck.
Let me look it
But
up.
Nate Diaz, who is just a pure street fighter, and uh, you know, he would be so fun when in the shit talking department.
Yeah.
Uh, Nate Diaz would be awesome, and he's on the list of people that he wants to fight.
Look at this. But it's like all his tweets are shit talking. That's so funny.
And you're a fan of MMA at all. If you're not a fan of MMA at all, I mean, Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz are absolutely hilarious brothers. That
Yeah, they are.
he's the one that when he beat Conor McGregor, and he goes, "I'm not surprised, motherfucker." Right when he
Yeah.
to Rogan, to Rogan, that's the first thing he said after Rogan
He's
was
really
interviewing
funny.
him. But they always come to the Comedy Store and smoke pot, and they're fucking super cool guys. But I would love to. Nate Diaz would, I mean, and he would be probably giving up 80 pounds.
Oh, damn.
Probably. I mean, Nate Diaz is 165, maybe
He is pretty, yeah.
170 would fight
He's
it.
pretty slim. That's true.
But
I mean, it'd be great to watch. I'd love to watch it.
that would do record sales for. And if I was Jake Paul, I would be all about.
Yeah.
I would be all about wanting to get Nate Diaz in there because that would just be. He would make more money than he's made in all three of his previous fights. What were your thoughts on the LED shorts? Those actually I thought were pretty cool.
I really like that. I was curious, like, are those his actual, like, fighting shorts, or he's just wearing those in the dressing room, and then he comes out in them, and they didn't break? I felt like he would get a body shot that would just fucking destroy him.
If I'm an advertiser, I'm all about. I go, oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
boxing game just changed.
Yeah.
You throw LED fucking, it just keeps saying Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi all
Yeah,
over, or
yeah.
whatever the fuck it is,
Oh,
black
dude.
coffee or whatever.
That's probably why he wore them. I think he was probably going, like, my next fight, all that shit's going to be, like, H&M, fucking, Pepsi, whatever the hell else. He'll make fucking $1 million just on the shorts.
Condom Depot. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Someone from Copenhagen says, wish you guys
Oh.
would break down more Radiohead. There isn't any new Radiohead.
I know there's not much to break down. I did just
Yeah.
go see my first concert in 2 years.
Oh, really? What'd you see? Oh, the Black Crows.
Uh, yeah, I went and saw the Black Crows, and I haven't been. And there's maybe my buddy Jay, maybe you're second to Jay of people I've seen concerts with. I've
Yeah.
seen so many concerts with you, and you and I both go to a lot of. I mean, how many concerts do you say you go to a year on average? Sans pandemic.
Like two? No.
Hmm. I was gonna say like maybe one.
Maybe one, and
But
I won't even stay for the whole thing. um,
no.
I mean, on a regular year, I mean, I'd like to go to like 20 or
Uh-huh.
something like
I
that.
was gonna say I'd probably go to 12 or 13.
Okay.
I would say
So yeah,
I'd
one a
probably at
month.
least see a concert a month, especially in
Yeah.
LA because it's year round and everybody always goes there. So it's easy to see bands in LA when we were there. But yeah, I probably see. And then I went 2 years without seeing a single concert. Went to
Yeah, it's
Chicago, saw
weird.
the Black Crowes, with a bunch of my buddies. It was great. It was awesome. Felt like it just always did.
Yeah, that's
Oh
cool.
man, I forgot. Take a guess how much a Jack and Coke was in Chicago World Music Theater, whatever it's called now. Jack and Coke. And I wasn't in some VIP bar, just like a regular stand in line and go, you know what, maybe I want a cocktail. How much is a Jack? Take a
Like a
stab.
16?
21.
No. Oh my
Yes,
god.
sir.
That was loud.
That's not with a tip. That's not a tip. That's nothing. $21.
God, that is criminal.
I go, oh, I'll take one of those without the Jack Daniels, please.
Right? Yeah, yeah. And they're like, that'll be $20.
I know. I go, you know what? Let me just get a shot of Jack. $1.
And you're like,
What
this
is
one's
it?
on the house. You're like,
I
Jesus,
know.
Jack sucks.
I know. Who knew Chicago had bad Coke?
Right. That's so
A
funny.
beer. I think a beer was $13.
Wow. That's
I think a beer
fucking
was
nuts.
$13. But you know what I will say I did like about that? Probably keeps the people from drinking and driving a lot.
Yeah, I would think so.
If
I
you got
mean,
$3 beers, it'd be easy to let it slip away from you and be like, "Ooh,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm a little too drunk."
Yeah,
But
the next thing
you
you
know,
know, you're fucking 9 beers
it
in
would
during
cost
the opening act.
at $21 a drink. It would cost $900 for me to catch a buzz. Think about how many free drinks we've had in our lives,
Oh my
or just been
god.
like, I mean, and to think, I go, dude, are people really like having 4 to 6 drinks at $21 a pop? Can you imagine being on like a date or like, you got like 3 or 4 people and you're like, hey, this round's on me, and you come back and it's $100 for 4 drinks.
God,
It's $100 for 4 drinks.
that's that's not even fun anymore. I mean, it's like you're hanging out, yeah, let's get some drinks, and then by the time you get the bill, you're like, I can't even enjoy the rest of the show. I'm out $100 for like 4 watered down drinks.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, oh, that better be fucking strong. I remember when I went
Yeah,
and saw Prince at the Forum, as you did,
yeah,
and I remember getting a beer there, and it was like one of those like 16-ounce beers, and it was
yeah.
$18. And I told the guy I just wanted one, and he goes, "That is one." And I go, "You and I both know this is wrong. You and I both know this is wrong. I know you
Yeah,
didn't
dude.
set this price, Mister Nice Guy here, but we both know this is fucked up." So
Yeah,
I got
man.
one beer, and then I just walked back to my seat with it like I was carrying like an Academy Award or something. And somebody would knock into me, I go, "That was 85 cents, man."
Yeah, by the time you're in your seat, you've lost like $11.
We should invent something. This should be your new sponsor on the show. We should invent something that it's like, like in the cartoons when there would be like those like little kids would wear like what do they call them, like a trench coat, and there'd be like two little kids standing on
Right,
top of
yeah.
each other in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
We should invent some kind of shoes that you could fill with booze or beers, so it just makes you a little bit taller. So then, and then when you get to your seat, you take your shoes off, and it's just full of fucking booze and beers.
And they would like the bartender would fill them like a gas pump with a car. They'd just go down and go,
Oh yeah,
you fill up your
yeah.
shoes.
Like those Reebok pumps, but with booze.
Yeah, Reebok booze pumps. That'd be a good idea.
Bang! I just got you a new sponsor. I don't
There
even
we
want a
go.
cut of this. I don't even want a cut of this.
um, you know what I wanted to talk about is
Mm.
your, and this is my favorite thing you do on Instagram and social media, is your uh, trolling of fucking
Oh, reverse catfishing. I
yeah,
call it
reverse
reverse
catfishing.
catfishing, but
Um,
I've been doing that forever too. I've
I know
been
I
doing
love it.
that before, not really before social media, but it originally started with emails. You know, when
Oh,
you would get those
really?
emails, yeah, I got some great, great email ones that I have saved that were because it used to be like, I'm a Nigerian prince and my father just died, who's the king, and all
Yeah,
I need is 5 grand, and then I open this up like $10 billion, and I'll send you $100,000.
yeah.
Those were the OG ones,
Right,
and
right.
those are the ones I just started because everyone you would just get that email and delete it, just delete it. You wouldn't even
Yeah,
read it.
yeah.
I started replying to him as like a real dumb guy. And I all I wanted them to do was reply and answer my stupid questions, and they almost always did. They almost always would reply, to which I would reply, they would reply, and
Yeah.
eventually we would wind up fighting, and I would eventually get them to break character. The funniest thing was is when they would always break character, it would go to all caps. All caps is when they would break character and
Huh.
start typing. And now their English is really bad. One person put a curse on me and said within 1 year that somebody in my family was going to die of cancer within 1 year.
Uh-huh.
Either me or somebody. That's a pretty broad shot you just took. I mean,
Yeah.
if I have a big family, I mean, cancer is one of the top 3, 4 killers in the world.
Right.
Pretty easy to say that. Someone you know is going to die in the next 5 years. It's
Yeah.
pretty good guess there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing that. And then once they started hitting social media, I go, oh, this is so great.
Yeah.
So great.
I want to
And
look.
then
I want
yeah,
to
see
go
if
to
you can
one.
find any of those. But there's I right before the pandemic, I just started working with somebody, and I do really want to circle back to this because I really think it's a great idea. I was in the process of working on a coffee table book, and the whole right side of the page was just going to be my DMs, exactly what I was saying to them.
Yeah.
And the left side of the page, this animator was animating everything that I was saying,
That's a great idea.
of how it was. So each kind of chapter would be one person that I had on the hook for a long time. Now, one thing that's always in common with these is one, I'm rich.
Okay. Of
Two,
course.
one, I'm rich, and I got my money in the dumbest, most stupidest way because I just want them to go, sure, yeah, okay, I believe that. You know, one
Yeah.
time I was rich because of inventions. My grandfather invented inventions. So he had the patent not on a
For
invention,
everything.
he had the patent on the word invention. So anytime anybody invented anything, he got
Okay.
a little bit of that money.
Smart
I
guy.
inherited that. So I always got my money in a crazy way.
Yeah.
And I'm recently widowed, and my wife has died in a horrible, horrible, ridiculous way. One time she fell changing a light bulb, but she was changing the light bulb on an airplane that was 10,000 feet in the air. So she fell a very long way.
Yeah, I'll
And
bet.
when she landed, she did survive, but she landed in, unfortunately, an alligator pit. So she falls out of an airplane changing a light bulb into an alligator pit. And
That's
then I
so
go,
funny.
why does this keep happening to me? That's what I said. Why does this keep happening to me? Like several times my wife has fallen out of a plane into an alligator pit. And then they reply, I
And
am
they
so
believe
sorry.
it.
I'm so sorry for you loss. Are you alone right now? You know what I mean?
So they're just
Oh,
looking for
thank you for
keywords that they have automatic replies to.
money. Here's the key words. Because I watched this whole documentary about it. and it's
Okay.
Nigerian. They're almost always in Canada. They're
Hmm.
almost always Nigerian. It's a Nigerian scam, and it
Huh.
is a gang called Magamugu, Magamugu,
Huh.
and a lot of their money is made on these internet scams. The Magamugu, and
Weird.
the person that I was fighting with about, and it said they were going to put a hex on me.
Hmm.
And I go, if I ever find out who you fucking are, I'm gonna, something about giving them AIDS. I said something about giving them AIDS. And then I was gonna dig up their, their father was dead. And I was gonna dig up their dead father and fuck his corpse and give him AIDS. And now he's gonna be double dead from whatever he died from and also double dead from my AIDS.
Okay.
And if I ever find, and no, I go, if I ever find out who you are, I am going to bite you, sir. I'm going to bite you so many times. I don't know why I just did bite him, but I was just saying the dumbest shit. And then he got super pissed and he goes, "You don't know who you fuck with." All caps, again, all caps.
Right.
That's the only one I ever got to admit. I am Magamugu, and
Wow.
I am voodoo. I'll put a hex on you and your family. And uh,
That's
within one
amazing.
year, somebody in your family within 1 year is going to die of cancer. And
So all these,
unfortunately, no one did.
that's so funny. And all these are on your Instagram, right?
Instagram and Facebook, yeah,
And
but there's
Facebook.
a
Okay. Let me
ton of them. I
see.
just tag them on Move.
Hold on. Let me see. I want to go to your
I
there.
accept every friend request, and especially here's how you know where they are. Here's you want to know where they're coming from when you get
Yeah.
a friend request and it's a hot girl
Yeah.
and they've only been on Facebook for 5 months and they only have two pictures of themselves. What
It's
hot girl has
right.
not been
Right.
on Facebook from day one and doesn't have 10,000 selfies?
Yeah. They. I mean, they start with 1,000 followers. It's like immediate.
Absolutely. They're
So
born
here you
the
go.
minute they hit puberty and they're,
Yeah.
well, we got
Here's
one here.
one. So yeah, I think it's your latest one. So they said hi, and you said my cat killed my dog's cat. Now I just have one dog and one cat, and my dog has no cats. You? It's so funny.
And they reply, "Oh, sorry, I have one dog." They never even think that it's ridiculous.
Yeah. What's the next one? I'm from It's Okay, Okay, USA.
Yeah, they go, "Where are you from?" "It's okay." I don't know why they said okay. And I go, "I'm from It's Okay, Oklahoma, USA."
Yeah,
Actually, I had a wife, but
anything you
she
say,
left
they just
me.
fucking keep going.
They believe anything. That one right there. Are you married? I go, "Actually, I had a wife, but she left me when I left her for leaving me alone at the Left Hander Con 2010. So no, I have no wife unless she comes back."
And they're just like, "Oh wow, you love her, cool, because you waited for 11 years." It's so funny how they think this shit works.
It must work or they wouldn't do it, Nick. What they're
Yeah,
doing
it's
is
or it's
what
just a numbers game where they do 1,000 of them and they're like two of them will work and we'll get some money, right?
they do this the way Eric Oligny hits on girls at a party. He walks in, hits on 140 girls, and
Yeah,
goes,
numbers game.
"Someone's gonna say yeah. Someone's gonna say yeah."
Yeah, exactly. But
So they
that's
just have to be sitting in a fucking thing and just. So the thing is, okay. So what we were saying earlier, it is a thing, and here's what some of the key words are:
okay.
lonely, lonely,
Yes,
money, sex.
that's perfect. That gets them
Those
engaged
three
right away.
words will automatically flag them to talk back to you again. And so sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, how are you? Sorry if I'm bothering you." I will reply, "You're not bothering me at all, lonely money sex." And then they will go, "Oh, that's so good. I'm glad to hear I'm not bothering you. What are you?" And they
And then
don't
they're like,
even,
they're like
because
salivating now.
they're probably juggling so many of them. So I saw a documentary about it, or I read an article. I want to say maybe in the New Yorker, in something many years ago, 2008 maybe.
Okay.
It was some article, maybe the New Yorker, maybe it might have been the what was that one newspaper that was always free? It came out on Thursdays in LA,
LA
the LA
Weekly.
Times. It was in the LA Weekly. I read an
Okay.
article. I was just chilling at Bliss Cafe, sitting there reading the LA Weekly, and I go, "Oh my God, these are those people I've been fucking with." Oh,
Wow.
I go, "Wow, this is a much bigger thing than I thought. I thought it was just some jackass,
I love it.
in fucking the same city I was in trying to scam people. It was way bigger and international, all that." And then I kind of really got into catfish and these people that are cat. And the other thing I was thinking was, the longer I keep these people on the hook, the less likely they're going to scam some old lady or old man.
It's
Like
true.
if I'm fucking with them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that's that much less time they are actually victimizing somebody.
Yeah, and you are actually gaining something out of it. Like you're putting these on
Wonderful
social
content.
media.
Everybody,
People are laughing. They love them.
I get so many really good comments, and man, I know when I got a good one going. I get this feeling of like, oh, when
Yeah.
you got a new bit, or it's not just a new
Yes.
joke, but you have a new like thing, and it's you start writing it or whatever. You go, oh, this is bigger than I thought it was. This is fucking really good. This is gonna be a good one. There's a kind of like adrenaline dump you get when you know it's gonna be really fucking funny. So I do actually get a lot out of it. But then I saw there's a 2020 episode, I think, or 60 Minutes episode
Hmm.
about exactly this. And they kind of take what I did to another level and get some guy and they fucking track the guy down and have him meet him at an airport to give him all this money. I've
Wow.
sent them to Western Unions several times.
That's fucking amazing.
Several times. They have gone to Western Unions and it's got to be there. It's got to be there. I'm telling you, I'm looking at it right now. It's got to be there. It's not there, mister. I'm telling you, it's not there. We just went. They always want you to send Western Union to like a Walmart or to like a
That's
Target or one of
incredible.
those. It's always like a weird store that they want you to Western Union money to them to at some weird location. And that's how they got caught on that 60 Minutes because they were at that one waiting for them with like the whole camera crew and all that.
I love it. So okay, I just put your Instagram handle on screen. Um, that's where they people can just kind of scroll your profile and just find all the ones you've done dating back a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
They're,
Oh, as long as Instagram has existed, I've been
okay,
doing
yeah.
this.
They're
I mean, I've
all
been doing these longer. Yeah, if you're scrolling through my Instagram, I try to keep my Instagram funny too. But
yeah.
if you're scrolling through my Instagram, if it looks like a back and forth text, like a DM, it's usually like a 3 or 4 photos of
Yeah.
a conversation that was going on. There's got to be 40 of them in there.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean they're worth looking for and reading cuz they fucking make me laugh so much. I love them. So let me say we're getting to the hour and a half mark. The
wow,
Punch Drunk is still going, so people should listen to that. Okay.
absolutely, yeah. And
And
get my
then
comedy album, Covidiot.
yeah, your
Yep.
comedy album that's available anywhere you can listen to music, streaming, all that stuff, right?
Anywhere you can get it. If you want to pay for it and buy it, God bless you. If you can't
Okay.
afford it, it's obviously up on a bunch of free places and stuff like that. Now I know what Metallica was bitching about, by the way, after you put an
I know,
album out.
right?
They go,
Yeah. Yeah. The
like
drop
the
off
minute it
between
came out, then it was on everything and it was on so
yeah.
many free platforms. I worked so hard on it for like a year during a pandemic, and then it comes out and it's like everyone's like, "Oh, I already found it for free." I go, "God damn it!
Yeah.
Where's Lars Ulrich when I need him?"
But that's great, man. I'm glad you got it done and put it out. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I'm actually very proud of it. I don't say that about a lot of things in my life, but that one I'm actually really proud of. Sometimes you're listening to your like Spotify or whatever you're listening to, and it'll pop up just on a shuffle or something. I'll be golfing or doing
Yeah.
something or working around the house or something, and it'll pop up, and I go, "Ooh, I actually don't." You know, when you shudder when you listen, you hear yourself
Oh
sometimes, or
yeah.
like something pop up, you go, "Oh, oh, fast forward, fast forward." I'm actually really proud of it. I think it turned out really, really good.
Good,
And I'm
yeah.
also doing I'll talk to you off air about it, but I need to borrow 10 grand. No, I'm starting a room out here in Valpo where I recorded my album, which is a place in Valparaiso called the Market Lounge and Comedy Club,
Oh
and
sweet.
They have a 400 seater main room, and
Oh, dude.
I'm doing a once a monther there, and I got Steve Renazizi, September 26th. Me and Steve Renazizi are doing a gig there, so please,
That's
I'll blast all
great.
the yeah, I'll blast all the info for it. So just follow my Instagram or my Twitter or anything like that, and you can find out how to get tickets. And yeah, once a month, I got a bunch of people. Tiana's going to do it. Nick Youssef is going to do it.
I'd love to do
I
it.
think I got Rice Cub. I got Jeff Richards. I got a bunch of people. They're going to
Oh, dude, that's
come out and
awesome.
do this. Yeah, man, it's really, really good. And it's a real good, we're having local comics get a chance to do a big room like that and open up. And
Yeah.
then I'm just doing 20, 25, and then letting all my buddies do an hour and make some sweet, sweet cash. Pays $50,000. So
That's pretty for one show, right?
it is a one night. No, it is a one nighter, and the money's actually really, really good.
Yeah, that's incredible money for one night. You got to send me
It
the
is.
link to that venue and that place so I can. I'll post an Instagram of
Yeah,
the episode
I
and
don't
the.
want to, I don't want to say how much money it is, but I'll show Nick. But for a one nighter, that is true. That's not even a joke.
Really?
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
great.
I know, dude. It's insane.
Wow.
So everybody's gonna want to do it, and I'm really trying to with my buddy Jeff Webb and all my friends at Market Comedy Lounge trying to.
Dude, I would.
And if it sells out, it's two grand more than that if it sells out.
Jeez. Yeah,
I
dude,
know.
I want
So
to do it in November. I got to tell you why off screen, but we'll talk about it in real detail.
you're having an abortion.
I am. I got to pay for it. They're expensive now. Yeah.
How much are they? Because last time I
It's
had
like
one, they were however much a coat hanger is.
now they're like 6 grand a foot. So you got to like 10 grand an
Whoa,
arm. So they'll do it like bit by bit. They're pricey.
that makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
They're just the dumbest guy in the world.
I know.
You don't
So
say.
we're gonna do while I still have you. It's one of the most popular segment on this podcast, but since you're here, um,
I
it
love
is
it.
this. Yeah, it's a quick segment. It's called "Look How
Hang
Dumb
up on
Bobby
me.
Lee Looks in This Photo." So here we go.
Oh, I love it.
And then here's the photo. There we go.
Whoa,
Yeah.
what a
So yeah,
fucking idiot.
people just send these in, and then we just sort of kind of look at how dumb he looks.
Well, he looks. I've never seen this picture of him before, but it
Uh-huh.
really does highlight how somehow his neck is wider than his face.
Yeah, it's almost like it's resting on it, like it's like
He's
it's
shaped
like
like
a
a
beanbag
pencil or
chair,
like a. Yeah, he's shaped like that Bezos rocket.
right? Yeah, and it's got its own intro music, so it's like a popular segment. We'll play the intro music
Now,
again.
who?
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, sorry. Here we go.
I love it.
Um, yeah, thanks, dude. It does real well. So that was someone named Andrew sent that photo, and so well, I mean, I get every week people just go, oh, how about this one? How about that one? So I'm just gonna start kind of doing them, you know.
What's the one from last week?
Oh, let me find it.
I just want to get caught up on how stupid fucking.
That's last week.
Oh yeah, he has a
Yeah,
thing for horrible glasses.
he does. Yeah, look at that. There you go.
Yeah, that's a bad one too.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Do you talk to him a lot? I mean, the people that I'm doing this gig with at Market Comedy Lounge in Valparaiso,
Uh huh.
um, they gave me a list of a bunch of people that they wanted, and Bobby Lee was on. I go, no. They go, why not? You don't like Bobby Lee? I go, I fucking love Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
He is the most flaky person. Bobby Lee will be 4 days late to his own funeral.
I know he would.
And And whoever, and they'll be like, "Well, he just couldn't find anything to wear. He just didn't like what he looked in
Yeah.
anything, how he looked in anything." I want to try something. Let me know if can you hear this real quick? Tell me if you can hear this. If you are, I'll do this quick segment.
I can hear it.
Okay, I got a quick sponsor I want to plug if I could, Nick,
Okay.
because everyone has sponsors on their own podcast, but I think guests need to start having sponsors.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you. So I got my own sponsor just as a guest that I want to do, and look, a lot of us lost a lot of friends and family members during COVID. And I don't know if you had to go to any funerals during COVID, but it was so hard to go to a funeral. You had to do them on Zoom. It was so uncomfortable. And then now you got this body. You don't know what to do with the body. Well, thanks to our good friends at Pillows, Pillows, Pillows,
Oh.
uh, yep, what they've done is they've found a way to turn the ashes of your loved one or your dead pet into a pillow. And now you can have them with you by your side at all times. Use the code Nick's New Podcast and get
Okay.
20% off of your new pillow. So I want to say thanks to our good friends at Pillows, 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 and here's their jingle. Use the code Nick's New Podcast.
Because he's right under your head. Oh, that's so funny, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
Um,
good friend. Thank you, Jeff Scott. Well, great Jeff Scott with the music
I know,
on that.
man. Fucking rest his soul.
Yeah, wild one, wild one, wild
I
one.
know.
That was a shocker.
It really was, man. Well, look, dude. I'm glad you were able to come on and
Me
always
too, man.
fucking.
I'd love to do it. Congratulations on the new podcast.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
love you.
dude.
Everybody listen to this podcast. Continue to listen. It's only going to get much better, especially when I'm not on it. But I love you so much, Nick. You're literally one of my best friends and one of the people I miss the most. I'm glad I got to see you when you came out here, but I look
I
forward
know.
to seeing you very soon.
I know. Me too, man. And I'll have you back on if you want to do like boxing stuff.
Anytime, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll
because
talk
I know
anything.
you know your shit. Um, but yeah, so I'll send you all the links and all that stuff. And
Yep, please do.
Jayson Thibault, everybody, there he goes.
I love you, buddy.
All
Love
right,
you.
buddy,
Good
love you
talking
too.
to you, Nick.
Later. That's it. That's Jayson Thibault. He's one of my fucking best friends. He's always so funny. That pillows. He just like did that on his own just to do it. So funny. So you know what I realized when I was talking to Thibault, I cut off the dog DNA test thing like as he was calling. Long story short, I broke fucking down and ordered a dog DNA test. $69. I know there's better ways to spend $69. They're not the most accurate thing, but I felt weak. I did it. And I'll let you guys know what he is when the results come in a week or two. So that's that. I will post all the info on Jayson's stuff on Instagram with the links, blah, blah, blah. Go to ATNY, look at all the tier options, blah, 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 and subscribe to this on either YouTube or any of the podcast streaming platforms. It's just got up on Google Podcasts, I think, the other day. So it's everywhere. And if you do the Patreon, go to the Discord for all the chat rooms and we can bullshit about stuff. All right. See, oh, there's end of show music now. Ready?
It's the end of the show. Like, subscribe, and comment. Don't be a dick.
See ya.